Welcome back. Today I'm joined by Sue Margolis, who is here on behalf of United with an update. Well, Sue, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, and hello everyone. I'm glad to be here. We're going to discuss a little thing that you've probably been hearing about a lot, insurance, and how it'll be affecting your fees. This has been a very troubling year when it comes to insurance outlook, and there's no end in sight. What has happened is this: insurers have asked the village to reassess for replacement cost, and the values that have emerged are double of the previous evaluation. For United, the new value is $1.5 billion. This number is the number we would need in order to rebuild if there were a total wipeout. Hopefully never. The whole village is assessed at $3.4 billion. This includes GRF and third. That much insurance is not available to us at any price whatsoever. Mm-hmm. In past years, the village purchased $700 million worth of insurance based on the value that had been written into third CC&Rs. Due to the cost this year, United has chosen to purchase with GRF and third a joint policy for only $425 million. Unfortunately, it has a $25,000 deductible. We used to have a $10K deductible. Mm-hmm. Most of United's incidents have been losses in the range of $10,000 to $15,000, so we really weren't collecting much either. Mm-hmm. Thus, we will not be collecting from our policy in most cases. With this replacement value assessment at $1.5 billion, in case of a total catastrophe, we are underinsured by a factor of 3.
Right.
There was an interesting number put out by our broker that some insurance companies estimated our probable maximum loss at $150 million, that most of the village would not be destroyed in one catastrophe. Mm-hmm. This means that in 99.6% of the time, the loss would be less than $150 million. So it is reasonable to conclude that we are probably safe with 425. The policy is good for 1 year, but we can drop it in 60 days notice. This gives us some leeway to consider buying closer to the $150 million coverage amount and trying to figure out a way to cover for the catastrophic event with another method. So we have started an ad hoc committee to look at the alternatives to lower our expenditure on insurance and maximize our coverage. If any of our residents are knowledgeable, experts on insurance, we welcome you to join the committee as advisors. One of the ways we could get more economical coverage for catastrophes if we required every manor to be covered by at least the minimum HO6 style policy, which is a standard minimum insurance policy for condos and co-ops, especially desirable for those manors that have been altered. An HO6 policy will cover the interior damage of your unit, improvements, additions, and alterations that you've made. Most people have made alterations because these were built in the 60s. Plus, it covers your personal property. It will pay for additional living expenses if you can't live in your manor when due to the peril. Mm-hmm. We have long recommended that every manor obtain this coverage. We are considering making it mandatory. Okay. The United policy has always covered the outside building structure, the common areas, and the non-modified areas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And this policy sounds very similar to like a renter's insurance or something like that.
Yeah, right? It's very similar to renter's insurance. It's for
Is it expensive?
Well, we have one basic insurance company that's willing to give you with what we're requesting for $130 a year. $131 a year. So it's not expensive if you
Oh,
get the basic.
no, that's very reasonable. And how, tell me, how does this help you guys as a whole by each individual manor having this?
Okay, this HO6 would coordinate with our master policy, which we hope to get down to 150 million instead of the 425.
Okay.
And since it cooperates, it will not cover the mutual in case of disaster. We request that you, or recommend that part of your HO6 purchase is $100,000 loss assessment coverage, so that in case of a catastrophe, we could have a special assessment. With the loss assessment coverage, the insurance would pay the special assessment for you.
Mhm.
With this, to add to your current coverage, if you do have an HO6, we've heard that it costs between $15 and $30 a year. So it would provide the mutual with over $600 million of coverage for rebuilding.
Wow. Well, that's helpful.
We're working with a local insurance company, and they're willing to offer a basic coverage with a loss assessment at $131 a year. And you can choose whoever you want to go with, and we do know that State Farm will give you the $131 insurance policy.
Okay.
Please discuss your needs with your insurance agent or insurance company to make your purchase the right amount for your individual needs.
Mhm.
I realize this is a lot to start thinking about. We shall definitely be revisiting this theme and hope to ease everybody on the board with minimum of effort. Thank you. Any questions, Lisa?
Well, as I mentioned, it seems very similar to a renter's policy. Now, of course, great advice to shop around, because this HO6 policy, I mean, I'm assuming it's available for most insurance companies. Is that correct?
All insurance companies have it. So you can go
Okay.
to Farmers or anybody else that you've ever used. We
Absolutely.
are not going to require you to go to one insurance company, but we are going to start trying to require everybody to have it, especially those people who modify their manors, because we don't cover it. If there's a water intrusion or something of that nature, you are stuck with the bill.
Right. And if you're a veteran, you could always look at USAA. That seems to be a good operation. And then if you're what is it, AARP, maybe they would be able to help you find someone too.
Yep, these are all valid ways to get your insurance. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I mean, I know this is something that's been going on for a while now, and now's the time.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Okay. And we'll be right back after this.